If you're not on the table of deciding the economy, then you are on the menu for eating. On the show, we talk to an engineer who is embracing smart farming by growing a more yielding fodder that is boosting his daily milk production. The fodder crop is known as Guetemala Grass.
If you are to grow like an acre of Guatemala, you are able of getting 20 tons of dry silage. Even people in Kampala are buying silage actually in kilos. A ton, at a bad time, a ton goes up to 600,000.
This grass provides several environmental benefits, notably against soil erosion and the development of pests and diseases in neighboring crops. This is Chilling.
In a momentous leap of celebrating and showcasing Ugandan success stories, today we have decided to sit down with an engineer who decided to expand his horizons into farming. An amazing tractor. I've never been on one of these. Yeah. There we go, ready for a ride. But to be honest, Kazibwe really had this passion ever since he was a child because his family has that background of farming. It's about, I think, 75 kilometers from Kampala. The exact location, I think, we're in GOMBA. A place is so beautiful. He turned this place into a fortress. Over 70 hectares of land covered in cattle, goats, and other plantation. Ladies and gentlemen, today Chilling is giving you a different twist and we're at the farm here at MK Mixed Farm. Enjoy me as I really get to meet this person, such an incredible personality. We are going to be reaping gold and understand everything to do with farming. Don't move an inch. This is the best of the good life and I'm yours truly, Drago. Stay with us. In our country or elsewhere in the world, we all have one belief. It's a firm belief actually that goes that if agriculture goes wrong, then nothing can ever go right. What an introduction I made, you saw, eh? When you're meeting Muko, he's gold standard indeed. Now, our show is such an unpredictable show because we always bring in twists and turns you can never predict. Now, you're busy wondering back in your sitting room, like, and he's standing amid some huge plantation that will be identified later on, but this is actually a true gold mine. The owner of this franchise and the CEO of this farm we call MK Mixed Farm has told me that this is the new thing that is taking on. Now this gentleman, I'll tell you a brief history about him. Since he was a child, he has had all this passion of starting up something like this, or even more, you know. This he took from his grandfather, who was once dubbed as the biggest and the best ginger farmer in this entire country. And now, as if he tried to pick a leaf from that, Back in 2013, he was also named as the biggest matoke farmer we have in this country. And from that time, he has grown on from strength to strength to becoming a superstar, a CEO, an engineer, by the way, by profession. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored and delighted to meet the incredible engineer, Kazibwe Moses. Man, engineer, I'm so fascinated.
You're welcome to our farm.
Thank you very much. Such a beautiful place you have here. Animals, crops, cash crops, coffee, each and every. How can one man have all this?
Dear viewers, thank you, Mr. Drago, and viewers of the UBC and other channels around the world. My name is Engineer Moses Kazibwe. Thank you for visiting our farm. In fact, you came with the rain.
Yes, which is a blessing.
You're a blessed person. I mean, UBC UBC is a blessed TV.
I just pray it doesn't really rain because we won't then record our interview.
It has not been raining,
yeah.
We are in a cattle corridor, as you can see. This is GOMBA area.
Yes.
And the Guatemala you're seeing behind us.
Oh, this is called the Guatemala.
Yeah, this is Guatemala.
This is the new thing.
Yeah, no, it's not new actually.
Yeah.
It's not as new as you might think because you are young.
Yeah.
In our old days, when we were still young, this thing used to be with the only rich men.
Okay.
You know, like 42 years ago, Americans had brought here Frisian cows. But each home they would give a cow should have at least a plantation of what? Small plantation of Guatemala. So I learned this from my late cousin called Tamale Sempira, who had actually like 0.5 acres with around 7 Frisian animals kept in house. All of them were in house. So as a young boy, I saw this thing, and later we had some issues around the country, and then later the thing disappeared. And even those who had cows all were eaten, blah, blah, etc., etc. But now, 4 years ago, I was moving elsewhere, and I found the 4 plants. I want 1 plant of Guatemala. So I stopped my driver. You man, first stop. As if this is a plant I saw when I was still young, in my cousin's farm. So when I picked the 3 plants, 4, we tried them here in my farm, and it was Guatemala. So it was an amazing thing. We had to leave it to grow for almost 1.5 years so that we can get more seeds.
And now, engineer, it is spread over how many, what?
Like 51 acres now.
Wow.
Yeah, we have 51 acres.
That's very amazing. Engineer, you were born with a silver plate, with a silver spoon in your hands. One would say, bakuzala oli mugagga, tolabye ennaku, tomanyi nattadde weefaanana. Background ye badde etya? Family gy'ovaamu.
In fact, it is not like that.
Okay.
My father, yes, he was a rich man. You know those days omuntu okubeera nga akola mu kiyembe alina edduuka ddene.
Neera yali mugagga wa wano Gomba.
Butambala, most people knows my father actually. Yakolanga ne most prominent people in our area. But late Sheikh Tamsuza, some guy called Butala, he has so many of his children lawyers and etc and etc. So yakolanga ne mzee wange. So those are the guys that time abalina kachi kukasente. But now,
which years are those?
That is around 1982.
Oh, wow.
Before the war, 1982, 1987. But somehow I was a stubborn young boy. Somehow Gombe Primary School. So Gombe Ime namala ya short time, then P7 najikolera Simba CS. Iliyo Kibibi Butambala, Then after that I went to Kibibi SS where I met with my brother Drago. Drago.
The senior, they are referring to my uncle. They are friends with my uncle.
We met there. Until now we are friends. So after that, we entered the hustling field. These things of becoming an engineer. Let me tell you, after that high school, we entered the hustling whatever.
No, you went to the campus. You went to university.
No, listen, we entered the
hustling world.
World. Then I registered my own company, construction firm, blah blah blah. Later, I realized people used to call me engineer. So the engineering whatever course.
Title,
I went back to school because I was forced. You know, people calls you a doctor and then you are not a doctor.
Yeah.
So
there was a need.
So there was a need for me to, and I enrolled on Birmingham University, where I got my level 5 diploma, higher diploma of civil engineering, which is equivalent to a degree of African degrees you guys have.
Yeah.
If I give you one of the courses I did, you just believe yes.
But engineer, you're just a naturally brilliant person.
Yes.
Have you ever been like this since you were a child?
Yeah,
Have you been like this?
I was very brilliant. Actually, during my second and primary school, Adam will tell you, Seka Gugwa, your uncle, I used to be very known in a school. Everyone would know Kazibwe is passing, you know, thousands. In secondary school, we were like 2,000, GVSS. But even the headmaster, everyone would know Kazibwe. You know, and I was not stubborn, but I was very brilliant, sharp boy, yes. You know, those days when, like, the Adams were in boarding, for us we were day schoolers. So when they are going back, that time they would go back with their daycars. Then they fold them, they take them back on a taxi. Ukatanda Wagulu. Now when they reach Chibibi town, we used to have a restaurant there of Mr. Kabala. So that's where we would collect these beds. Adam would sell me his and another one. So that I go and sell these beds to my villagers there at 6,000 each. Umufali so suka. Banana tebadanga yena vyoka ngazeli musubuzi. After school, when a holiday comes in like this, so that I can also join them, we go and dance from Echoes. Ababan myaka jafe bajimanye. Ngamalo kutunda bino byebangu zizanga ngenda mbasange eri. I never wanted to be like, hey, munachalo, no. So, wetwamalanga kola ebintu ebyo mu holiday mazo kutunda ebitanda byange. Njagala bana nabo bategena nange ndi steboni. Kati nga nyinyawo taxi yanga ngena mu kibuga naye nga nyina cash. No, this is very fascinating. When we were coming, I had most of those stories which were very funny. But one of the most compelling and inspiring story is how you rode your bike from this side to Chibibi. Yes. Over, I think, more than 15 kilometers. That relentless effort and having that courage. My mother, actually she's still alive. I wish you would meet her. My mother encouraged me so much to go to school, keep going, you know. And at that time, you know, our fathers, when they used to get a new catch, you know, a new wife, they ignore the first family. So, in fact, me and my mother, we left my father's home in 1984. So all this time around, I lived with my mother. Wow. So I have a story to tell. Even I'm writing a book about being brought up by a single mother. Because a successful person like I am, you should leave something, legacy, for those who are in the same state to know that at least they have not failed. Somehow, God is in control. They will also make it the way I made it. Wow. Yes. Yeah, engineer, how does it feel to come and invest from a place where you were born as a child, to put such a huge fortress of a farm over I don't know how many hectares, even far than where my eyes can even see? I mean, it's so amazing. How does it feel to bring this back home? Yeah. Thank you. As a young, brilliant man, when we were still young, of course, in the hustling field of town, me and your uncle, you know, Adam, we became friends when we were still young until now. Yeah. You know, we call each other on a daily basis. So it's my birthday, you know, like you say these days. Yeah. So as I was growing up, I had, of course, most of my friends were brilliant people. I never wanted to associate with people who brings me. At least if you are not rich, you have something to add on me. I don't associate with people who are failures. That is my life. So since my childhood, actually, Adam would tell you. So nabuzanga bana basajja batusingako. Now, if I get my little money, where should I invest it? Do you know my first 55 acres here? I can shock you. I bought it at 9.5 million. Yet I had only 3.5 million shillings that I paid as cash that time. Wow. So I didn't know even where I would get the 6 million to pay the old man. But also he had an issue of the bank. You know, he had a bank loan of 900. I remember in Centenary Bank, he said, "You man, help me, bail me out if you have this money." So I paid that same day. I nemberanga sigaza 3.5. So that time, it's around 17 years ago, nalibadde nga ngula Mercedes Benz. So nengula ettaka wano. So when I bought that land, I was still young, you know, utilizing it, what. But the whole thing I had in me is when you get money, buy what? Buy land, because it doesn't expand. So I've been buying, you know. When I started with that one, then an old late man called Moses Chiku is the one actually who sold me here 248 acres here where we are standing.
Okay.
So you see another person called Chisule also sold me 68. You know, they come.
And you have all this land, engineer. What are you going to do with it?
No,
because there's also
you see,
living land redundant is also an issue.
Like my land now, if we tour it, you can't find any space without any investment. We have animals, we have feed, we are the biggest gonja farmer in this area where we are standing, if not East Africa.
Take a pause. He brags about that and very much more. It's unbelievable to find such human beings in our country. And this man, I'm telling you, he's stopping at nothing to make sure that he's the biggest agro business person you can ever find. Now, today's show is not all about bragging rights. Today's show is all about inspiring any young lad that is seated and watching this show. When we return, we are going to be tackling most of those questions. Now, this is a very also fascinating plant that I want to find out more about when we return. So we'll take a break. Chilling goes on a break. We shall be back shortly with another part. Don't go anywhere, please. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the best of the good life. Today, we are going to be conversing with a gentleman who is going to give you an opportunity to create your own wealth. Now, Eng.Kazibwe Moses is a man that can brag about so many things, but most importantly, he is thriving the theme of agriculture, and we're so proud of him as a nation. Now, Mzee, we talked, when we were starting the interview, we talked about this amazing plant. So this originally comes from, is it, you say, South America?
Mexico.
Okay, Mexico. And what are some of the nutritional benefits of this plant? And why is it so rare to find, especially in this, our state right here?
There is a lot of propaganda within our scientists.
What is that propaganda?
In Uganda, they say that this Guatemala doesn't have the same nutrition stuff that the other one has.
Okay.
To me, that one I call it as a failing point for the nation to develop. You see, if we are looking for numbers to supply huge numbers of goats, meat, sheep.
We also have to clarify, engineer, that this is a feeding plant.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. So
this is actually, guys, this is a feeding plant.
Now,
as you
can see this plant alone.
Yeah.
If you use the other machine we use up there,
this one right here,
you can feed. This is small now.
Yeah.
You can feed up to 3 animals.
This right here.
Yes, 3. But if you are to use the other ordinary napier, the chisagazi we have, Banyankole call it chibingo. Even in this one in Runyankole is called chibingo. So one plant can't even feed a goat. The other one we keep lamenting about. So our scientists, actually, when you go to Kawanda, you don't find it. Some people would say the nutrition values of the Guatemala are low, blah, blah, etc., etc. So I want to clarify this.
You beg to differ.
Yeah, these two. These are the following nutrition values that are in Guatemala.
Okay.
Everyone should know. Crude protein, that is DM, is 5.5.
Wow, that's good protein.
Crude fiber, percentage DM, 41.6.
Okay.
NDF, DM percentage is 76.4. ADF in percentage, DM 48.2. What does this mean? If you go to check with the other sugar napier they keep lamenting, you will find it has almost the same values of nutrition. Like I've just
or even
shared.
more.
No, Guatemala could have more. Because, you know, when we feed our animals with Guatemala, we add up the milk production.
Yeah.
Like where you are getting 5 liters, you get 7 or more, yeah. So you've seen our animals. They are actually very healthy.
Yeah.
Today, when you look at other animals in any other farm, even those who are rich farms and etc., I will not say the name here, Oja kusanga nga our animals are not compared.
Because they don't have anything to feed them.
Yes. So I would suggest that where we don't know, it is not a matter of being a scientist or something. You know, by the way, you know, we have so many professors, PhD holders, etc. Is our president a PhD holder?
No.
Is there any brilliant person in Uganda like him?
No.
Or not in Africa? No. So what I'm saying here, experience is the most important thing. You see, I've now experienced in this. So what I'm saying here is by experience.
Would you say, engineer, that the president is one of your role models, or even the biggest role model?
Yeah, but you know, I want him to be my customer here also, because he's my role model. Yes, he has many number of animals and the brains he uses around.
The man has more than 3,000 cows. Will you be able to feed it?
No, he has over 20,000. But you see,
will you be able to feed it?
Boss,
to feed the cows?
If you have 50 acres of Guatemala planted like this, that is nothing. Trust me. You know, we get 40 tons per acre of Guatemala silage. Wow. Fresh.
Yeah.
What does this mean? After it dries up, we get 20, half of it. So an animal, a grown animal, say you feed it 20 to 30 kilos a day of silage. So my friend, what we have here, you can feed the...
And the quality of meat, is it really giving?
Yeah, of course. You see why quality of meat is good and actually acceptable all over. These animals, the more they move, the more they get infected. With those ponds, get liver flux, what. Once they are not moving, you don't treat them. You get? So you reduce on treatment. Yeah.
Now, engineer, what can you honestly say and be as brutally honest as you can, because you're an experienced man, about this notion we have in people around my age who don't really believe in agriculture? What have you got to tell them? Can this be a really strong investment opportunity for any young person? Instead of, you know, wasting the money into luxurious things like buying cars, like you said, why should they start something like this?
But you see, before we start up farming, we must have the passion for what we are going in. Like a young man of your age, if his passion is for selling phones, iPhones, cameras, what, this is where he wants his life to be. But it will not grow too big because you are not the manufacturer of the cameras and iPhone. You are just a distributor. You are distributing on behalf of somebody. But here, you own it. Like you are now calling me a CEO because
I really, because...
And do you know the name I call this plant now?
No.
Guatemala Eng.Kazibwe.
It now has a new title. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, Kazibwe. Because if you miss out those two names, you will not get it. I've given many friends 20 plants, 30. Guatemala. They come back here and say, oh man, they all died.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. So, engineer, let's take a pause here, because I'll tell you, passion is also a good thing. But if this passion is leading you to big markets and you making millions and millions of money, then I would agree. To having a passion only. Let me tell you this, because nange mwenyini nyinawe nekoleddeyo eyo back home. Ninayo obuzi bwange bwennunda. Naye I don't necessarily have passion in it, but however, I dedicate my time and my everything into that. Naye nga nti njagala creating a side income enakola ki?
Okay, if you are doing it for business purpose, I can advise. One, if you are to grow like an acre of Guatemala, you are able of getting 20 tons of dry silage. Even people in Kampala are buying silage actually, in kilos. A ton, at a bad time, a ton goes up to 600,000. So imagine you have 20 tons. That's how much within an acre. Would you go back to the village and sell your land to go and buy a boda?
Oh, that's good mathematics. That's good mathematics, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
So, engineer, besides all this, what we're seeing in the footage, short season as it's a story of they're pictures of a success story. But who inspired you?
You see, in Uganda,
because you mentioned of your father and your grandfather, it's in the lineage.
Apart from my grandfather, in Uganda you might see so many people going high, and then in a few months or years, then they
decline.
They declare them, they decline, they go down. So you see, some of these things I do them myself. You know, as like I've told you, I started with 1, 2, 3 plants. Actually, we planted 4, 1 died. We remained with only 3 in the corner there. So those 3 plants, within a period of 4 or 5 years, this is now what we have come up with. This is why I'm telling you this plant is called Guetemala Eng.Kazibwe. For the last 5 years, I've been coming here, 3 days a week. And they do it when I'm there. If you send, this is the story I was telling you, if you send people here, they will now start telling you, you will not even find the workers here. They will run away because they have destroyed your whatever, money and products.
Investment, yeah.
Yeah, they will run away. So I've been coming here myself to see this thing. You see, like the president. I understand every month he goes to whatever his animals to dose them.
Yes.
Deworm them himself. Yeah. They deworm when he's seeing. I think normally you see him on TV.
Yes.
Why would the president really go to that small farm to see workers deworming? Because this is the culture of our people. If you don't go, they don't do it. They will tell you we have done it. Yet they have not done it. So it's
really important to
what
be
has brought me to be where I am is commitment. Many people, they look at their fingers and say, oh, because now mine, when I'm going to the bank, doesn't look like this. It can only look like this when I'm in the farm. When I'm in the bank, I smear
You're laughing your way to the bank.
Yes. Yes. So sometimes, like you are saying, how do we actually empower our youth? There are some youth who are here from PG, Butambala, and this Gwetam PG. Yeah? I was like, you guys, stop, you have 1 million shilling, and then you are posing around. My brother, you do it for me, boss. Your brother, when you send your 1 million, he will first take 300 with his wife, better for his family, and then the 700 goes here on your farm. At the end of the day, you've spent only 700, yet in your accounts, you are seeing 1 million has gone to what? To the farm. So in Uganda, people are not working for others. This is the culture. You make sure you do your thing, hand is on. Yes, this is it. Otherwise, you lose it and you lose the whole, the whole of your future.
Wow. Yes. Engineer Kazibwe Moses, the man, the myth, the man everyone is now talking about.
You will even see the aloe vera plantation.
I will check that out.
Aloe vera. We are #1 now if not in East Africa, Uganda maybe.
I think perhaps we don't have to rush this. So what we are going to do is to create a sequel and create another part. So next week, tune in the same time as we continue our conversation with this great man, Engineer Kazibwe Moses. He has such a beautiful scenery, such a beautiful setup here at GOMBA. You would love to come here and check this out. And he says that the market is open.
Feel the breeze.
Guatemala hands-on Kazibwe is available for sale to anyone that has any animals that would want to feed. Feel the breeze. It's good to stay away from Kampala. See you guys next week with another part.
Next week on Chilling.
A person who goes to buy land from the owner, whoever is selling, is not a grabber. Myself, I am a very humble person. You've seen my hands. I come here, I work. I'm a very humble person. But when it comes to someone stepping on me, I become so wild.
Because Engineer, what does the President directive say about land?
President says, don't chase away the squatters. Here there are no squatters.